See, when I left, I was young, and the only memories I had were very of lot of pain. I was into modeling a little bit, not like very professionally, but little bit here and there. So उन्होंने मेरे को बोला इन लोगों से बात करो तुम. And I spoke to few of these people, and they were
They were militants
hardcore militants. And then I did my lot of research, and I found out that really they had come on a mainstream part after doing the art of workshops.
There's people who know you from before will not accept.
It took a lot of time for my friends to accept the fact that
They must be like this.
Even my family, my brother felt ki what he's doing
is fake.
It's fake. No, it's like one more escape.
अच्छा.
इसको पढ़ाई वढ़ाई तो करनी नहीं है. इसने एक और बड़ा ऐसा spiritual अपना बना लिया है. ये भी ढोंगी है.
मतलब It's so scary to go and expose yourself to extreme.
In the beginning, I was not scared, but when I went inside, then I got a little scared.
Why? Thank you so much, Avinash, for taking out time today. It is real a moment for me to have you on India Podcast.
Thank you so much.
I have a story with you. So I am meeting you after 13 years, where only I met you 13 years back. And I don't know whether you remember having noticed me. So that was in ashram in Bangalore. And I had my first course where even you took one of my session. It was an advanced course of Art of Living in Bangalore. So since that day, I think in 2012 to 2024, we are here. I had this memory of you sharing a small snippet of where you came from. And that is why it has been so close to me to meet you. So thank you for giving this time.
You're welcome. Thank
but
you so
today
much.
I want that story out from the box, that where have you come from? Where is Avinash Tiku coming from?
So I was born in Kashmir.
Yeah.
Let's go that back. So I was born in Kashmir, and that's where I spent my childhood till 8 years of my life.
Okay.
And I mean, as people say, Kashmir is a paradise on planet Earth. It is. And I mean, I still remember my time when I was growing up. It was beautiful landscapes. We had a joint family. We had pretty big house just to live in. So life was absolutely perfect. And and then unfortunately the exodus happened, and sadly we had to leave Kashmir in a very sad time. Not very anybody would have wanted like that. So that's where life took a very interesting turn.
Have you ever gone back to Kashmir after that?
Oh yes, I have gone there post 2010 couple of times, and then in last 3 years I have been now working in Kashmir to bring Gurudev's wisdom and to peace, and bringing a lot of change in the mindsets there.
So you going back to Kashmir and leaving Kashmir, there's a lot of story in between which I would want to touch upon. To begin with, how do you want to define today when we talk about Kashmir? It is a tourism paradise in India. We do talk about conflict then and now. So when we want to know from you, how has Kashmir changed for you?
See, when I left, I was young, and the only memories I had were very of lot of pain.
Okay.
Leaving the house in a distress overnight, and then suddenly settling down in a place which was like 1/20th the size of the house we were living in. And then the families got separated. So it was very
So Kashmir had bigger houses?
I mean, I will say the biggest houses in the country you'll find in Kashmir.
Okay. So they
The average house of any other city in Kashmir will be at least 2 to 3 times bigger. Everybody has a big house, everybody has a garden, there are trees. It's
like
lovely.
paradise.
It is paradise. There is no two ways about it.
So when you left, it was not very pleasant to have left a pleasant place.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, the first of all, the basic thing was the temperature difference. I mean, we used to have nothing more than 30 degrees, and then suddenly I'm at 45, 47 degrees. I had a garden and a ground to myself, and then suddenly I was in like one small room. So that was a lot of changes, and unfortunately, the entire thing had to be changed. The way we were looking at life, how we were adjusting finances, it was very different.
You know, you had left Kashmir, as you said, because of Exodus 1990, which is something I think we all have only seen. We've never experienced or breathed through what you might have gone through that evening. I would want that memory back, but also before that, I want to know, an external issue led you to leave that journey, and today you're going back to that land by choice. So which is working better? How do you look at it?
So as I have said that, leaving that place was the most painful, and there was a sense of, I will say, revenge I had in my head, because overnight you have two big houses, you have everything is perfect, picture perfect, how you see a family, and then suddenly overnight you don't have anything. Like, later my house got burnt.
Was it like overnight?
It was overnight. It was overnight that we had to leave. Just like, it was like there was no time to plan. There was nothing, so that we had to leave, and that's how the circumstances were. Unfortunately, because things were bad, and then when we left, later on, after a year or 2 years, our house was burnt. So then the even the scope of going back finished, because that was the thing. Everybody thought, okay, स्मॉल लिटिल
थोड़े दिन
सिचुएशन
का
है, थोड़ा
conflict है,
माहौल खराब हो
but
रहा है, ठीक हो जाएगा. तो everybody did not even plan to go like that. सबने थोड़ा थोड़ा सामान उठाया, and that's how people left. But later everybody realized कि this is not happening, and then many houses were burnt, unfortunately, and which my house was also the one in which. So then though the entire hope and that thing that we can go back got over.
so the revenge was because your house was burnt.
The house was burned because all these things, like,
Yes.
you can see that, मेरा तो बचपन खराब हो गया. So the revenge was, I thought कि मैं मरने से पहले एक टेररिस्ट को तो मारूंगा पक्का. That is how it was. I mean,
did you see any of them? Did you?
Oh yeah.
That day.
That day,
you...
yeah. It was scary. It was it felt very, very unsafe. You saw a lot of guns. You saw a lot of hostile environment. Even though our neighbors and the people around were very, very helpful, but then there was a chunk of people who were very, very.
Were they selectively thrown out? Only the Hindus, Kashmiri Pandits?
Yeah. They were, and that is how, which was the sad part. That shouldn't have happened, because the amount of close bonding which people had with people, that somehow got broken down, because the close knit which I come, because I was young, because what I find out from my parents and from my relatives, that they were very, very close knit, the Hindus and the Muslims and the relatives and the neighbors. There was no barriers as such. So then also that fabric also broke down, unfortunately. But now I feel things are mending up.
But what took away the feeling of revenge? Was it a temporary feeling?
So that is where the life changed. So, and growing up in, so now I have come from Kashmir, which is which is that kind of an area which has a lot of. Then I go to Chandigarh, so Punjab again. So imagine a mix of Kashmir and Punjab put together. Makes you much more, yeah, more energetic, more aggressive, yes, more. So I was growing up very, very aggressive, I will say. Extreme high energy, like super high energy. Sports, physical activities, playing fights. For no reason, pick up fights. So that is how it was. And then I came to Bombay for my engineering.
So you chose everything that takes you to the edge of.
I am not sure about I chose engineering, but somehow, because my parents wanted me to do the engineering, I was never ever interested. But how, and that's how a typical Kashmiri Pandit family is. They would want their kids to become doctors and engineers.
Is that so?
Yeah.
They want them to be lawyers and doctors.
Lawyers, not now, yes, but at that point of time, engineer and doctors were the only two things which are given respect. Rest, everything was like, okay.
No businessman.
Oh no, very like rare, like, and business was not considered very like.
So Kashmiris believed in education.
Education, like, that's why the Pandits, if you'll say Kashmiri Pandits, not because of the ritualistic part, not because they were like priestly. Yes. It was the fact because they were very learned men. So lot of wisdom has come from Kashmir. Kashmir has been a land of wisdom. Okay, I didn't know this. Yeah, land of wisdom. You will be astonished to know a lot of our ancient scriptures have come from Kashmir. There is an entire wing called as the Kashmiri Shaivism, which talks about the Tantra, which talks about a lot of things has come from Kashmir. The origins is Kashmir. So you took everything to Chandigarh and Punjabis and Sikhs. I have no idea whether I took that, because I had no idea that existed in Kashmir. Yes. I found out that later. Okay. But at the same time, Chandigarh was a place where I really, really loved, because Punjab again is a place where people are very full of heart, and Chandigarh is very pretty. Very pretty, very organized. Luckily I got into a very good school. So things was.
But what again changed in you? You were doing well. You were out in the world fighting with everyone.
So then in engineering, when I went to again, engineering was, I will say, full of all those things which you not be doing.
Yes, engineering colleges.
Engineering is, yeah, I mean,
you want to experience everything,
everything.
but
And especially in Bombay.
In Bombay.
When you are in
A
Bombay,
bustling city for you.
bustling city.
You've never seen size cramped down to nothing. The
Yeah.
rooms, the space is more cramped in Bombay.
Yeah, but that was okay because the entire glamour of being in Bombay
Yes.
used to supersede everything. Because you know, the moment you go to Bombay, you think you can also be a hero. You can be to Bollywood.
You had that thought?
I had that thought.
You were in modeling.
I used to like do a little bit here and there wherever I used to get a chance. Like, so I used to do a little bit of modeling.
And coming as a Kashmir person, very pretty. The Kashmiris are very pretty. So were you also given the benefit? Like,
I don't know, but maybe yes. But yeah, so I was into modeling a little bit, not like very professionally, but a little bit here and there. Sometime for my college, for my fashion shows, and all those things. But then also into sports. I used to also be leading my cricket and my basketball teams in college, and always an outstanding student in terms of being outside the class.
I thought you outperformed.
Nobody. I used to be very from the different side of the table. I used to be an outstanding student.
You would create the ruckus and you should be noticed.
Oh,
you're always
somehow So college was really, really fun. I will say like super high fun. मतलब मेरे को बहुत कम चीजें याद है मैंने क्लास में जो सीखी हैं क्योंकि मैं क्लास में होता ही
You were doing everything else that was required.
Except study.
Education.
Which nobody knew in my family.
So then what changed you? You were into a mode which you came from a baggage.
Yeah.
You were playing around in the world with all confidence.
Yes, with all confidence.
Because people with baggage generally lose their confidence. But I thought you...
Somehow it was there. But that confidence was amongst like, you know...
Selected
set of people, yeah. But when it came to giving a presentation in front of my class, that was like a no for me. I still remember कि मेरे को third semester में presentation देनी थी. And 10-minute presentation I finished in 30 seconds.
So you didn't give it.
I like just finished it. I just finished it. So that was like, because that is how it is. No, you are confident at a certain space, but the moment you are put in front of the audience and especially people whom you know, तो तुम आपको ज़्यादा लगता है ना कि ये तो मेरे इनके बीच मेरी एक reputation है, मेरी एक image है, मैं ये करता हूँ.
You were infected by this. लोग क्या सोचेंगे?
अरे majorly.
अच्छा.
क्योंकि आप सबकी एक अपनी इमेज होती है ना मगर वो होती है वो इमेज दूसरों के सामने खराब नहीं होनी चाहिए.
So you were protective.
Oh yeah, very much. I mean, I used to be very much about fashion, new style.
What makes you look good and everything?
Everything. Hairstyle, which is the latest look, which is the latest trending, which is the latest jean fashion. I mean, every time I remember मैं जब भी चंडीगढ़ जाता था मम्मी बोलती है अभी तो एक नई जीन्स लाई थी ये दूसरी नई जीन्स क्यों आ गई है. So every new fashion, every new fade of the jeans.
And it all happened because you got exposed to a very city urban life.
No, Chandigarh is also like that.
But in Kashmir we don't expect you to have so much demands. But is that so?
Maybe
people are more happy with nature.
Yeah, but I left Kashmir when I was very young. I was 8.
Okay, 8.
But growing up, Chandigarh also has a lot of the glamour in one space.
It is like you smell money.
You smell money. You can see it on the... So then Chandigarh and then Bombay. So, yeah. But then my final semester, I was where the life really took a U-turn.
You failed?
No, I failed many times.
Oh.
I failed in the first year only.
Okay.
Yeah. And not like marginally, with a big margin I failed. So, and I somehow, I was never... taken aback by that failure.
You were not a person who fail फिर goes into depression.
Nothing. I was celebrating my failure. मतलब we had a party the day we all flunked. So we had a celebration. कह रहे क्या बात है? So
just a very disobedient, destructive human.
Yeah, somehow.
The one who must have done good must be thinking मैंने क्या किया.
बिल्कुल मतलब मैं
ज़्यादा खुश तो ये आदमी है.
बहुत खुश मतलब और मुझे ये भी अच्छा लगता था कि जो लोग बेचारे पढ़ रहे हैं they used to feel very कि मतलब ये पास नहीं हो रहा है ये कुछ नहीं हो रहा है इतना नालायक है मगर ये तो खुश तो है ही. My flat was very close to my college and it was a place where
all the parties would happen and nobody would, once they come to my flat, they will not reach college. That's it. That will stay back there. So that is how it was. And it was, my life was like, if I'll put it in a words, there was no direction. It was extreme high energy without any direction at all. So you were saying that was also a happy life. You were happy.
Very, very happy.
Then why did you look for direction?
I was not looking for any direction. I was feeling this is how it is, that's how it will go. But at the back of the mind, not like कि मतलब कहाँ जा रहा है, कहीं नहीं जा रहा, but ठीक है, ये भी ठीक है, maybe sometime. But then one of my roommates who was witnessing all this chaos in front of him, and he was a very sincere person, very sincere, like like that. There's one person he was a couple of years elder to me, and he was doing his MBA. He was my roommate, and but that one person whom we can look up to, like ideal, and so obviously our ideologies never matched. But I used to love him and respect him for the fact that how he was, and he used to really take care of me. So he used to get really, really irritated. Not irritated. He's like, what is happening with this boy? The fact that what used to happen, because my mother used to ask him, how's Avinash doing? How's his studies doing? Is he going to college? And what will he say? He'll like, yeah, he's doing well.
Isn't guilt to lie about
it. So he was like feeling everyday guilt about कि मैं इसकी मम्मी को क्या बोल रहा हूँ और ये कर क्या रहा है, इसका कोई मैच नहीं है. So one day he said just come, and he gave me a big lecture, and he said, you have to go through this artillery workshop. I said, what is artillery? He said, this is a workshop, it will change your life. I said, but have you done it? He said, no. Then he said, no, I know this is gonna help you, and it will gonna channelize your energy for good. मैंने कहा आपने भी नहीं किया है.
You sound like a Ranveer Singh in his room.
मैंने कहा आपने भी नहीं किया और मुझे करवा रहे हो. Just shut up and do it. Simultaneously, now just little before this, before he had told me about artillery, one of my college friends who used to be with me in the modeling space, so she used to tell me कि अविनाश तू ये course कर ले. And I mean, I have to accept I was a bully, like coming from Kashmir. And Kashmiri, I mean, now people have seen how many Kashmiris are like so popular on the front, especially Samay. Yes. So you can see a sense of sarcasm, right?
Sarcasm, I think they have, their sense of humor is very
Their sense of humor and sarcasm is very, very high.
Very intellectual.
Yeah. And that is normal, like, for many Kashmiris, it is very normal.
That is why now I get every Kashmir looks at each other and they're like, bhai.
Like
they
that.
They have a connection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and they will not even like, achhi baat, they'll like pass one comment only. Like the first meeting will be like a very sarcastic comment.
The moment you tell them I'm Kashmiri, they'll be like, okay.
So now that sarcasm of Kashmir, that aggression of Punjab, and then glamour of Bombay, I was a bully. मैं किसी को भी
You don't think anybody is
मतलब anybody. Like मैंने कहा ऐसा हर एक इंसान को कुछ ना कुछ मजाक तो उड़ाना ही है. So I ridiculed that girl so much. I bullied her so much that she stopped talking about artillery in the college. She's like ये पागल है, ये लायक ही नहीं है इसकी. But suddenly what happened? My roommate,
he also told you.
He pushed me, and now I'm like, oh my god, ये क्या हो गया? So I went back to her. I said like, वो artillery का course तू बोलती थी ना कर ले. कहती नहीं तू लायक नहीं है इसकी, छोड़ दे, तेरे लिए नहीं. मैंने कहा नहीं. And that is how I enrolled. I had no clue what is going to happen. Nothing. What is art of living? What is spirituality? Spirituality भी उसमें है कि मंदिर में 5 मिनट जाओ एग्जाम से पहले, सारे लोगों को अटेंडेंस दे दो अपनी, कि किसी भगवान को बुरा ना लग जाए कि
and you will pass.
I'll pass.
कुछ तो हो जाए.
And then suddenly I signed up and for a workshop, and I was told these two amazing, incredible teachers from IIT will be conducting the workshop, and that was like an selling point for me. मैंने कहा IIT के लोग हैं तो मतलब थोड़े.
It gives you a kick, like.
And especially for a person who has done engineering, who has not reached anywhere, they understand कि.
At least you will respect them for IIT
very much.
sake.
Like वो साष्टांग कर देंगे कि मतलब आप लोगों ने कुछ तो लाइफ में किया है. And that's how I ended up in a workshop, having no clue about what's going to happen. And it was a very different environment. When you're entering a spiritual class, people were like, they're putting a tika.
Yes.
There is garlands. There is a picture of Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar ji. And I'm looking at him like, I'm not meant for this. This is not the place.
You're judging everything.
Everything. I'm like, this is, and I have come with an toned jeans. यहाँ तक लंबे बाल है. ऐसा है. मैंने कहा ये मैं गलत जगह पे आ गया. I think I'm in a wrong place. But and the workshop started. And first day it was okay. Nothing
has changed.
Nothing is great. So I went back to my family. मैंने कहा तू यार इतना बोल रही थी, कुछ खास नहीं, चल पैसे वापस दे दे. जिसने नहीं, एक दिन और चले जा. मैंने कहा कुछ है ही नहीं ऐसा, क्या तुम इतनी हवा बाहर रहे थे, वो है फलाना, कुछ नहीं है ऐसा, एक दिन चले जाओ. And I went second day, and that is where the first Darshan Kriya, which you are taught in the first Startup Link workshop, the happiness program or the Yes Plus. So I did a Yes Plus program. So Yes Plus is a program specially for the youngsters, mostly the college going students. And when I did my first Darshan Kriya, I was just blown off. I was like, what is this? I could not think anything. First time ever in my life, my mind was thinking nothing. I still remember I was sitting in a bus and I was sitting in a double-decker bus and I was going back and I felt like I'm floating. I literally felt I'm floating and I'm like, मेरे को कुछ नहीं समझ आ रहा, गाड़ियाँ चल रही हैं, गाड़ियाँ.
It's like something people feel after dope.
Yeah, exactly like that. Like lost, but happy, unnecessary happy and nothing in mind.
So the extra energy with which you were running
It all settled down. Like, ये क्या हो गया? Then they had said कि second day compulsory है. I came back second day. And by the time I had liked my teacher. My teacher was like incredible. I'm like, ये तो बहुत अच्छे इंसान है यार, मतलब. This is somebody I can look up to, definitely. IIT and teaching such a nice workshop. And the Art of Living youth workshops are a lot of fun. It's not like प्रवचन नहीं है. Generally we think कि spirituality है तो कोई इंसान बैठा होगा ऐसे लंबी दाढ़ी लगा के. It is very involving, lot of games, lot of activities. And that age you feel, no, there are so many nice faces around you, like अच्छा ठीक है. हाँ, मैंने कहा ठीक है, चलो social networking भी हो जाएगी और सीखने को ही मिल रहा है लाइफ में. And I liked my teacher very much. And like, ये बहुत अच्छे इंसान है. And the workshops went on. And then the last day, they shared कि how in Kashmir, how many militants have left their arms and they have come on the mainstream. Now, for me, sitting behind, I'm enjoying the workshop. I'm fully in. I like, ये ठीक नहीं बोल रहे हैं. मैंने कहा ये तो इमोशनल ब्लैकमेल कर रहे हैं लोगों के साथ, क्योंकि बॉम्बे में कोई फैक्ट चेक नहीं कर सकता दोनों चीजों को लेके. देयर इज नो मिलिट्री एंड नो आर्मी इन बॉम्बे. देयर आर नो मिलिटेंट्स व्हिच यू फाइंड. सो देयर इज, you can create a nice fictional story around Kashmir and you can. So I felt कि, and everybody is feeling, oh my god, wow. मैंने कहा यार ये बेचारों को कुछ पता नहीं है, कश्मीरी की कहानी चिपका रहे हैं यहाँ पे. मैंने कहा this is not fair. So I went back to my teacher. I said like, I really respect you, but this story I don't really believe, because this is too much. This is too much fiction.
Yes. But was it true?
And it was true. And then I found out that really there were, and I did my lot of research. I told my teacher, I was like, ये जो आप बता रहे हो, so उन्होंने मेरे को बोला इन लोगों से बात करो तुम. And I spoke to few of these people, and they were like
they were militants
hardcore militants. And then I did my lot of research, and I found out that really they had come on a main street part after doing the art of living workshops. And then I went back to my teacher and said, if this is real, and the stories you have told real, and these people are real, this is what I'm going to do in my life, because this is what is needed in life, in the world.
You got your purpose.
And I got my purpose. So this was my last day of my workshop, and I decided कि मुझे यही करना है. Because अगर कश्मीर का एक extreme mindset है, उसको अगर आपने mainstream normal कर दिया, I think it is a big help for everybody.
Yes. For many who left
for
it in
many, for whatever reasons, whoever did whatever. But finally you can give them in way of...
Now you don't want a revenge?
No. And that is where it changed. That is where that entire revenge changed from changing the...
Is it like you forgave them?
I literally felt that मेरे मारने से कुछ भी नहीं होगा. तो किसको मार के होगा क्या? But I felt कि अगर किसी का मन बदल जाता है, if somebody's mind changes, heart changes, that is a long lasting win.
But मारने से शायद जो आपके परिवार के लोग चले गए, उनको आपको satisfaction नहीं होगा.
मतलब I don't think so उससे satisfaction होने वाला है. Like how Gurudev says, an eye for eye make everybody's blind. कितने लोग की आंख निकाल के तो सारे अंधे हो जाएंगे.
How does Gurudev happen to you? See, connecting to Art of Living courses, people, as you say, we can take whatever we can.
Yes. So that purpose kind of came, and I decided to become full time. So I was just finishing my degree, and with my degree I started volunteering. And again, now I got one more very good purpose for not going to college.
Earlier it was that you never got education, mainstream education, so you found something that you wanted to educate about life.
So then, I mean, previously it was like for fun. Now I like नहीं मैं कुछ अच्छा कर रहा हूँ समाज के लिए, इसलिए college नहीं जाऊँगा. But yeah, so I became very sincere to what I was studying. So the immediate effect was on my grades. My grades changed.
Oh my God, what you did not like to do, there also the reflection came.
Like I could not sit with books for more than 5 minutes.
And you could manage to do it well.
Oh yes, like my last 2 semesters I cleared in one shot, and that too with pretty nice grades.
How does that happen? It's like, so
I
it was
mean-
so easy. What you're struggling with was actually,
Because see, I think when you are in that age, when you are like 18, 19, 20, 21, there is so many things happening in yours. The system is changing. The physiological system is changing. There are hormones. There are so many things which come in your life. And in between that studying thing, so the problem happens with the attention span.
yes,
And when you are studying, you are thinking of something very random.
yes.
And when you're doing other things, you're thinking about, Arey, I should have studied. So the thing which shifted was because of the Darshan Kriya and one more pranayam concentration technique which they taught, I could just sit and concentrate without fail.
Your mind wouldn't waver.
It will not go anywhere. So which allowed me to score like,
तो इतना अच्छा स्कोर के लिए सिर्फ 5-10 मिनट की फोकस
हाँ,
पे
उतना
तो
ही
हम
है।
इतना क्यों मेहनत करते
हम
पूरी पूरी रात
लोग
जाके
थोड़ा
we should rather be taught this in school and
oh,
then go to
101%,
education.
101%. And I'm telling you, even after teaching for so many years now, almost 17 years, it has been like common phenomenon.
And you're a teacher now.
I'm a teacher now, yeah.
There's people who know you from before will not accept.
Oh, it took a lot of time for my friends to accept the fact that
They must be like this.
even my family, my brother felt ki what he's doing
is fake.
is fake. No, it's like one more escape.
अच्छा.
इसको पढ़ाई वढ़ाई तो करनी नहीं है,
तो
इसने
इस
एक और बड़ा
लाइन
ऐसा
पे-
स्पिरिचुअल अपना बना लिया है, ये भी ढोंगी है
हाँ,
types.
इसमें भी.
But then they realized.
But when you connected with Gurudev, because you've taken a purpose which is not just teaching purpose, as we little bit try to know about you, you're also changing, transforming lives which are extremely baggaged or in pain,
Yeah.
especially with your courses in Tihar jail or prisoners.
Yeah.
So was this a choice? You wanted to then take the toughest of the course? पहले पढ़ना नहीं था, अब सबसे difficult.
Actually, yes. Because for me, one of the strong points was Kashmir के extreme minds को change करना है.
हाँ, so
अब मुझे मिलेंगे कहाँ पे वो लोग? ऐसे तो नहीं मिलेंगे. And I was traveling and teaching different places. Then I got a chance to teach in Tihar jail and thought मेरे को लगा कि this is the place where I'll find those people. मतलब
it's so scary to go and expose yourself to extreme.
in the beginning I was
criminal.
not scared, but when I went inside, then I got a little scared.
Why?
That is a very different story. I'll tell
Because
you.
all the prisoners were staring into you.
I mean, so okay, I'll tell you. So one, I was around 26, 27 that time.
Yes.
I had only experience of teaching the young students in the colleges, and suddenly I go in Tihar jail. If you have seen Tihar jail, it's a
No,
pretty. You haven't seen?
no, it is pretty.
No, it is really pretty in terms of because the way they
Management.
have managed it.
Oh,
Definitely one of the like people go
Best
there
managed.
just to get arrested so that they get that kind of a treatment.
oh my God.
It is so nicely done.
Hmm.
Yeah, they take a lot of good care about. So when I entered, the walls are very, very high, like almost till like second floor of a building, little more than that. When you're entering those walls, you feel little. Where am I entering?
Hmm.
They put an little thing on your head. Then they put a stamp on you. जब आप अंदर जाते हो तो स्टैंप लगाते हैं और बोलते हैं कि
Welcome.
नहीं वेलकम नहीं, जो भी कोई विजिटर जाता है फॉर एनीथिंग बोलते हैं आप ये स्टैम्प बचा के रख लेना क्योंकि अगर मिट गई तो आप अंदर ही रह
Oh
जाओगे.
no.
लाइक आई मीन
It is in your head.
इट इज जस्ट a normal stamp. और वहां से थोड़ा पसीना गिरता है और थोड़ा सा ऐसा
Oh no.
in your head now.
This is very important.
This is the most critical part. Otherwise, whoever you are, if you don't have the stamp, you are inside.
You're an inmate.
So now there is tall
Yeah.
walls. There is this stamp. Already it is building up. And then I met the jailer, and he was having a rough day,
Oh.
very rough day, and he was from Haryana. So and Haryana is a pretty.
They might appear.
It's a very
rude.
sweet language
Yes.
in a very sarcastic manner. So he was, I think, having a night shift, and he was not like, "Yare, kahan aa gaya subah subah?"
Not
Yeah,
welcome.
Not welcomed at all. Now I felt कि if I listen to him little more, I will not be inspired to teach myself. So I just sat down, I meditated, did my own little bit of breathing, and I asked him, "So, can I start the workshop?" He said, "Yes, go to the ground." And I go to the ground and I see there are 250 inmates just randomly roaming around in that ground, football field. So I come back, ऐसे like मैंने कहा सर इनकी हथकड़ी कहाँ है? Because हमने तो मन में देखा है ना कि कैदी मतलब हाथ में हथकड़ी, दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस इन जेल। और मुझे लगा कि अगर इनको बाय चांस कोई मेरी बात पसंद नहीं आई,
They will kill you also.
मतलब आई एम माय लाइफ विल बी इन अ बिग रिस्क, सो आई केम बैक। मैंने कहा सर हथकड़ी, कहते डोंट वरी, दे आर लाइक फर्स्ट
They are in
टाइमर्स,
my
कहते दे
okay.
आर लाइक एमेच्योर्स। मैंने बोला अरे, कहते नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं होगा, अब जाओ। नाउ आई गो इन फ्रंट ऑफ दीस 250 पीपल, और ये लोग ना एकदम मस्त है, इनको कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ रहा है कि कोई बाहर से आया है, कोई टीचर है। मेरे को 15 मिनट हो गए, मैं लगा हुआ हूँ कि कुछ मेरी कोई बात सुन लो, कोई सुन ही नहीं रहा है, और मैं थोड़ा फ्रस्ट्रेट हो रहा हूँ। मैं बोल रहा हूँ अरे यार, देन सडनली वन पर्सन ऐसा क्राउड से उठता है और बोलता है
Yeah, now we can continue.
30 मिनट्स हो गया, ठीक।
He's so observant.
तो क्राउड से उठता बोलता है बाहर से आए, चलो सुन ही लेते हैं इनकी बात कुछ, मतलब एज इफ दे वर डूइंग लाइक एन फेवर, वेरी बिग फेवर ऑन मी, एंड दे स्टार्टेड लिसनिंग। सो आई सेड कि ठीक है चलो बढ़िया हो गया, तो कोर्स शुरू हो गया। अब ये बिकॉज दिस बीइंग माय फर्स्ट कोर्स, एंड आई थॉट कि एक्टिविटी इज ऑलवेज अ गुड थिंग टू एंगेज पीपल, बट मुझे नहीं पता था उस एक्टिविटी का क्या रिजल्ट होने वाला है। तो हम अपने बहुत कोर्सेज में ग्रुप्स बनाने के लिए एक एक्टिविटी गेम खिलाते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं फायर इन द माउंटेन। We say fire in the mountain, run, and then we tell everybody gently in progress कि कुछ भी हो जाए आपको let's say X नंबर के लोगों का ग्रुप बनाना है, आपको अपना ग्रुप बनाने के रखना है ना, अगर कोई होगा बाहर है तो वो आउट हो जाएगा। तो अब मैंने भी इनको बोला कि हम ये गेम खेलेंगे,
And they got very
तो मैंने बोला हाँ, मैंने बोला हम गेम खेलेंगे, जंगल में आग लगी, भागो भागो भागो। अब मुझे क्या पता था कि वो गेम का नाम ही बदल देंगे। तो 2 मिनट के बाद वो बोलते हैं सब लोग, सब 250 ना, इमेजिन 250 लोग बोल रहे हैं तिहाड़ में आग लगी, भागो भागो भागो, तिहाड़ में आग लगी, भागो भागो भागो।
And the whole system would have got alerted.
Forget about them, I got alerted. I'm like, oh my god, मैंने अगर इनमें से एक भी अगर गया गलती से बाहर, तो मैं तो परमानेंटली अंदर रह जाऊंगा यहाँ पे। और वो 250 लोग जिस एंथुसियाज्म से बोल रहे थे, एवरीबॉडी, सच में आग लग गया। I immediately changed the game. ऐसे like pause, wait, time out. तो अब तो मेरे को समझ, अब जैसे हम बाकी कोर्स में बोलते थे कि इतने लोगों का ग्रुप बनाना है, कुछ नहीं आउट है, मैंने वैसे नहीं बोला उनको। मैंने कहा इनको आउट क्या मतलब, आउट करना है तो कुछ भरोसा थोड़ी ना क्या कर देंगे। तो मैंने बोला आपको ऐसे ग्रुप बनाना है जैसे आप अपने बिछड़े हुए भाई से मिल रहे हो, एकदम प्यार से अपने परिवार के सदस्य से मिल रहे हो। तो ऐसे कर करके उन्होंने फिर ग्रुप्स अपने बनाए। बट should I go more details in this?
No, but I wouldn't want to come out of it. You need a whole podcast to just know that particular experience.
Yeah, it is.
So when you're dealing, so coming to the larger picture of your whole journey, we now understand where you were, where you came from, how it changed you. But connecting with Gurudev, the teachings that we are taking ahead, how do you think in today's world this can be made relatable? And that too with different kind of people. You've taught the youth, you've taught the people who have literally taken aggression and revenge as the mode to get themselves relief. How do you understand this?
See,
especially with the youth, let's focus on the youth today.
See, I think that is where, like as I say, they are the founding principles of any society.
Okay.
I mean, how your youngsters is, that's going to shape the entire country, the nation, the way it is going forward. And that is where I think a lot of attention has to go in terms of the shaping the minds. What are we putting in? What is the information we are putting in? Now with Gurudev, the beautiful part is because Gurudev, what I love about him, there's nothing which he is pushing down your throat. कि ये करना ही है, ऐसा होना चाहिए. He gives a very, very simple techniques, tools, which you use and you suddenly see a change in your life.
But today's youth, what are they finding relatable? Are there areas where you've identified these are the issues which maximum of us are suffering?
I think one of the big issues is anxiety.
Anxiety about what?
Anxiety about many, many things. One is the physical health. Second is about missing out on things, like which you call FOMO.
Yes.
Like that anxiety is happening to people.
So you think everybody wants to be everywhere?
Yeah. At least they want to be like that somewhere, maybe social media or in person.
Is that good or bad? Because good to want everything. At least we are an active, enthusiast.
No. It is okay, but without anxiety.
Okay.
Because for that anxiety is doing, no. It is really, really creating into a panic situation. And then they search for quick tools to get out of it. क्योंकि anxiety तो affect तो कर रही है ना. Now वहाँ से एक channel बन जाता है that how are you handling that anxiety? Because unfortunately what has happened is which were the two building blocks for any young people to look up to were parents and teachers.
Yes.
Which I feel it's not like that how it used to be before.
Yeah. Okay.
Because parents की बात अभी सब लोग सुनते हैं और बोलते हैं ठीक है पेरेंट्स है ना इनको क्या पता है we are more cool.
But are we not more tech savvy and intelligent?
There's yeah, absolutely tech savvy है but एक experience also is with the parents.
Okay.
I think you cannot deny the fact that parents have such long experience of living life. Maybe they have not lived in the tech savvy life, but they have lived that life. But somehow वो parents को थोड़ा uncool और the young generation thinks they are cool. तो वो एक divide आ गया है.
How do you bridge this? Called generation gap.
It is called a generation gap, and I think I also had the same gap. The fact that our workshop has a brilliant module which addresses all these issues, the Yes Plus program.
Okay.
Where we kind of create a scenario, they can look from both the sides. And I'm telling you, I've had so many experiences where the parents and the kids have not been speaking for years. Just because post-teenage and all those things.
Yes.
The teen parents are like, what have you done? What has this workshop done to these kids? They are like such a different person. It is just a manner of how you can make them understand.
Shift in perception.
Absolutely. That much utna hi hai.
Avinash, you've traveled abroad also. You've done not just the experience which you told about the prisoners which are breaking their barriers. You're a decent teacher. You break barriers. That's the main thing. But you also had a motive. You've been speaking to international crowd, US, Bulgaria. Do you think in India we look at life differently, though we are culturally much more profound, and in abroad we see them living more and more profound than us? How is this that हमारे पास शास्त्र है but उन्होंने ज़्यादा जिया है? Because how do you find that difference?
No, there is definitely. I mean, the way upbringing happens, the way teachings happen, the school education, it's very different.
But शास्त्र तो हमारे पास था, सब ज्ञान तो यहीं से
हाँ,
था.
but problem हो गया ना वो कि शास्त्रों को हमने एक तो खुद वैल्यू नहीं किया और दूसरा शास्त्रों को वहां के लोगों ने जब शास्त्र पकड़े तो उन्होंने इन डेप्थ रिसर्च भी की उस पे.
अच्छा.
ये गड़बड़ हो गया हमारे कंट्री के साथ. अनफॉर्चुनेट है ये बिकॉज हमारे पास इतना वी वर रूल्ड सो मेनी इयर्स, इतने साल either by Britishers, by Mughals, so many years. तो जो हमारा विजडम था it got lost in so many years.
We don't believe in our own selves.
Exactly.
And they believe in what they take from us.
Many of them. Like you must have seen right now, Kumbh mein, the amount of people who are coming from abroad. And like top-notch people. And they want to be there, Kumbh mein. So I think it was very unfortunately that how Britishers inculcated that feeling of inferiority for our own culture.
Okay.
And which we still are kind of having that baggage.
Shame of our
हाँ, मतलब एक टाइम पे तो लोगों योगा को कौन विश्वास करता था? एक टाइम पे आयुर्वेदा को बोलते थे अरे दिस इज ऑल सुपरस्टिशन है.
Yes.
ये तो जड़ी बूटियां बेचते हैं ऐसा. उससे जड़ी बूटियों से थोड़ी ना कुछ होता है. So which is all because they were at certain point time tested, done a lot of research, but unfortunately with this long slavery which we had, वो सारा या तो जल गया या तो खत्म कर दिया गया. तो जो बचा उससे we are kind of bringing out all those.
So it is a task to make you believe your own roots.
Yeah, it is a task sometimes. And then on top of that, there are such a strong influence kare because social media, the West, so many things you see, अरे ये cool नहीं है. But thankfully, I'm glad and now how social media also is helping people to bring people on this path.
Okay.
Because people are understanding health, the good way of living, meditation. So I mean,
share one anecdote. I've seen your anecdote was very interesting, which you were at. But when you're going out, taking Gurudev's message, कोई एक ऐसी memory या story जो so many, which just took you off कि we Indians are still there.
I think गुरुदेव के एक anecdote बोलना बड़ा मुश्किल है, but I think which I दो तीन I'll tell you one. One is like उनका जो एक line है, it says make your smile cheap and anger expensive.
Yes.
If you'll just understand this, you can really shift how you're living life. Because हमारा गुस्सा बड़ा जल्दी हो जाता है ना, एकदम on it.
In the moment
we are ready. और smile करने के लिए आपको बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है कि अरे यार मुस्कुरा ले. Yeah. That one. And I think the other one which I love is he says broaden your vision and deepen your roots.
Okay.
Like many people want to go big in their life.
But नहीं सोच सकते. हर कोई visionary क्यों नहीं बनता है? Why India has a startup culture now? Why we all can't think of becoming Ratan Tata? कुछ is it a?
ऐसा नहीं है.
Okay.
बिकॉज सब लोग सब नहीं बन सकते, और वो टाइम के साथ हर टाइप के लोग आएंगे ही आएंगे.
Okay.
आज से कुछ साल पहले पॉडकास्ट नहीं होते थे ऐसे,
हाँ,
बट अब बहुत लोग कर रहे हैं.
अब बहुत.
तो विद टाइम टाइम बदलता है, अवेयरनेस बदलती है, लोग देखते हैं, और उससे समय के साथ लोग अलग अलग चीजें करते भी हैं.
Your moment with Gurudev.
Moments.
Moments.
See, I'll tell you. For me, I came to Art of Living, and I joined by force. I liked the service part of Art of Living, and I was not very sure about Gurudev part, because ये दो अलग चीजें हैं.
हाँ,
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन
अभी भी.
अलग है, मेरा सेवा अलग है, ठीक है. बट गुरुदेव, क्योंकि गुरुदेव को जब आप मानते हो और सब आप जब सुनते हो गुरुदेव की कहानियां, दैट ये बदल गया लाइफ, वो चेंज हो गई, इट टेक्स सम टाइम फॉर
It
यू टू
takes
ऑल्सो.
time.
एंड आई
Suddenly.
वाज इन अ वेरी बिग मोड ऑफ डाउट, एंड माय टीचर हैड टोल्ड मी कि, मैंने बोला यार भैया बाबा, आई लाइक गुरुदेव पे ना वैसा आता नहीं है विश्वास. ही सेड इट्स बिटवीन यू एंड हिम. इफ यू हैव टू डाउट हिम 100%. मैंने कहा ठीक है. And whichever aspect of my life I kind of put and doubted him, he came with absolutely incredible ways to clear my doubt. And in all my years I've seen that ऐसा कोई मौका नहीं रहा in my 18 years में that anything which I have wanted, anything I even like small things is not taken care of in the most extreme and the most incredible places.
Avinash, define some words which we definitely want to understand in a short understanding from you. How do you look at the word faith?
I think it is the essence of life.
Should it be blind or should it be researched?
Faith is faith.
Okay.
Faith is faith. It just comes. It is not a thing which you can get. It happens to you. And I think each one of us has an inbuilt faith in us. I mean, the fact that we do online shopping.
How true.
I mean, isn't it? I'm like, every single person has faith. I mean, and after so many scams, still we don't stop.
We don't stop.
So we have faith.
Or we are foolish.
Yeah.
Okay, success.
I think part of life which should not get to your head. It should not get to your head like, oh my God, I have to be successful, I have to be successful. Because sometimes that goes to your head and you also lose track of your life. Success is a part of life. And with success, you should be also ready that failures can also come.
Okay.
Possible.
Relations.
For life.
Okay.
If you're making relations, you have to take it for life. Like,
how
healthy.
do you address the conflict in relation? Because now I think that's also increasing with vocalizing. People want to break off if not working.
Again, times are changing.
Yeah.
But then we have to look in the longer aspect. Like, if it is giving you a lot of, see, there are some relations which are very toxic. There is no doubt about it. But sometimes, for some silly reasons, I've seen people like, for silly reasons, like silly means silly. I mean, then you're like, "Arey, मेरे को तेरा चेहरा नहीं देखना types." So I feel there has to be somebody when you are in a relationship. Somebody, if you are like, there is somebody whom you can look up to.
So there is a need of a guru for everyone.
Everybody. I think. I mean, as simple as that. I mean, we came from one direction to one spot to another spot. We come, and we know the way. Let's say you have to go from Baliganj to Tollyganj. You know the way, but automatically, what will you do?
Google Map.
You Google Map. See कि traffic कम कहाँ पे.
Yes, it saves me time.
It saves me time. Exactly the same.
When Google Map was not there, you would ask people.
People. तो हम किसी ना किसी रूप में तो किसी ना किसी को तो गुरु बनाते ही हैं.
One very important question towards the end we want to ask is, why is it necessary for everyone to be on the path of meditation? Can some people be evolved without it?
Okay, so a very simple, very thing I'll tell you. So there are 4 states to our consciousness. One is a state of being awake.
Yes.
We are all awake right now, but in awake what happens? We are aware, but we are not restful. The opposite to this is sleep, where there is rest, but there is no awareness.
Yes.
The third is dream. Sometimes there is no awareness, there is no rest.
Yes.
These 3 modes we automatically fluctuate between. Sometimes awake, sometimes sleep, sometimes dream. But then comes the 4th state, which is the meditative state, where there is awareness and deep rest.
Simultaneously.
Now it is like you have a car which has 4 wheels and one wheel is not working. what will happen?
It will not be efficient.
Yeah,
It'll
as simple as that.
break anyway.
So when you have a possibility of attending and going to that state, which is the source of creativity, which is a source of concentration, which is a source of joy, why will you not want to go there?
Yes.
If you haven't done, you are not aware, that is okay. But if you're aware and not doing it, ignorance is bliss then, I think.
But is ignorance bliss?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But I think everybody should merit it.
In the last 17 years, your journey, it is 17 years.
Actually, now, 2006 I started. Now it is 19th year is starting.
If you have to look at yourself, because I think you also say that we can look at ourselves, how do you look at, has the transformation been gradual? It has been overnight, like your exodus was overnight.
So yeah, even my first workshop was overnight. I mean, that was overnight, and then gradually I have also seen a lot of changes in me. And but I would want to just put one word for my life. I mean, extremely grateful and gratitude that somehow Gurudev's wisdom and his path came in my life, and I could walk on this path. And I'm blessed that I can share his wisdom, the knowledge and the teachings he has given for us to teach to the world. I can share that.
Today, so many people look up to you. So, do you feel sometimes like now I have got a fan following? They want pictures with you.
Yeah, that is okay. But the fact is, because it is all because Gurudev has given me that platform.
So you have that all the time.
It is. There is no ways. If I don't have that, I mean, it won't happen. Only with his blessings and with his grace, I feel that is happening. Because when we are teaching the spiritual workshops of Art of Living, like the happiness program or any workshop, it is 100% designed by Gurudev. Every single process he has designed, every single word he has told. We are just like an tape recorder. We just go there and like just teach what has been taught to us. Obviously, we put a little bit of our element into it, like, and that is the beautiful part. Every teacher has its own flavor in Art of Living. But everything is designed, trained, and blessed by him, which does the magic.
One thought comes to me. You've seen the extreme. People have just spoken about criminal world, violence. You've seen it all. You've experienced it all. And then you're seeing the non-violent side. So what do you sum up the life as for you? You've seen people with guns. You've seen people with smile. I think it is time, like how I say, there's a mix of good and bad people. Like good, bad in terms of, let's say, people who are really, really putting their rights to use. Like, you go to the work, earn well, spend money, help your family, you're paying your taxes on time, voting, like all those things. And there are certain people who want to create a lot of disturbance, like plane उड़ा दिया, चोरी कर ली, चकारी कर ली, bomb blast हो गया, rape हो गया. Like, I mean, that, yes, I'm like, a lot of violence. Maybe because of whatever reason, somehow, yes, the society has branded them as bad people. Okay. Now the fact is, the majority is good. Super majority is good people. Isn't like majority people, you ask them, अरे कोई नहीं बोलता, अरे आज तो एक plane को hijack करना है. We thought majority is bad. No, 99% is good people. 0.1 fraction is bad. 0.1, maybe not that. Like if you put in your circle, you go and see, look in your circle. How many people do you know, like, who have an absolute hardcore criminal background? No, nobody. Very rare. Very rare. And that is how each one of us will have. Very rare we'll know, अच्छा फलाने व्यक्ति का फलाना उसको जानता है जिसके ऊपर कुछ ऐसा चल रहा है, जेल में है, या कुछ बहुत संगीन किया. तो वही तो परसेंटेज है ना. हाँ. बट फिर भी 99% को 1% से सफर करना पड़ता है. The whole world is suffering. Because ये 99% के पास एक बड़ी पावरफुल चीज है, एक्शन लेने की. They are in action. They are in action. Their commitment levels are high. Their action levels. अच्छे लोग क्या करते हैं? अच्छे लोग, बहुत अच्छे लोग सोचते हैं. बात होती है, बट एक्शन में नहीं आ पाता है बहुत बार. तो अच्छे लोगों का एक, बुरे लोगों का नेटवर्क बहुत जबरदस्त है. आप किसी भी शहर में जाते हो, उसको नहीं सोचना पड़ता कि मुझे रेंट कहाँ देना है, गाड़ी कौन सी लेनी है. इट इज ऑल टेकन केयर ऑफ. अच्छे लोगों को क्या है, आपको दूसरी सिटी में जाना है, आपको 5 तो वेरिफिकेशन होगी, चेक होगा. तो अच्छे लोग अगर एक्शन में आ जाए, कमिटमेंट टू क्रिएट गुड इन सोसाइटी, एंड दे क्रिएट अ नेटवर्क ऑफ गुड पीपल, this 0.1 will become very, very diminished. So the energy of disrupting is so committed. The energy of peace is self. Yes. सिर्फ मेरे को शांति में रहना है. दुनिया जाए भाड़ में. बस दुनिया जाए भाड़ में. And that is what Gurudev has been doing. He is creating a force
people who understand he's empowering people to become strong internally and allowing them to contribute back into society
And have a belongingness.
and have a belongingness. Without that, how can you help?
This is such a message you've given. It is like you've read the whole solution to the world is that we are more powerful than that 1%.
Any time. And we have the power to change because we understand what is good. And
We just
thankfully,
need to
Gurudev has
relax.
given these techniques and tools which can really give you a perfect, holistic, long-lasting solution.
So it is not enough to just go and vote the right people, but I think everybody needs to perform their
Absolutely.
country can't be rolled by only the Prime Minister.
Yeah. I mean,
We have to do our own.
everybody has to do their bit. Everybody has to do their bit.
It was so insightful, Avinash. I can go on. Everything you said, I think one needs a session.
Yeah.
We are still, मेरा तो वो story रह गया बीच में. Because of the time crunch, we are not able to go to the scene that you're talking about, Tihar, and that was one day.
That is one
I
day.
don't know how many days you spent there.
Yeah, I spent. But I'll tell you one story just because it will give one.
I would
Right.
love to. Yes.
Just see, दूसरी story है.
हाँ.
So I was teaching a workshop. This was only for people who are who had murder charges on them.
Okay.
This was inside a cell. And now everybody is murder convict. Some 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. And this is a very intense, very serious batch where, I mean, my jokes were just falling in the air. Nobody's laughing. Nobody's cracking up. और मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा? And I generally ask them कि आप में से कितने लोग यहाँ पे आए हैं जिनसे गलती से आए हो यहाँ? That's just my general question कि ये नहीं करना चाहते थे. So out of 21, 20 people raise their hand कि ये नहीं करना है.
They acknowledge.
हाँ मतलब they said कि गलती हो गई फिर फंस गए या circumstances ऐसे हो गए but this was not what we wanted. एक व्यक्ति ने हाथ नहीं खड़ा किया.
He said मैं करके आया.
मैंने बोला आपने नहीं हाथ खड़ा किया. He said गलती क्या होनी थी भैया, बचपन से ही शौक था बदमाश बनने का. And then he said इस बारी तो लाशें पकड़ी गई तो मैं जेल में हूँ, नेक्स्ट टाइम लाशें भी नहीं पकड़ी जाएंगी. And these two other people are pulling my like कुर्ता नीचे से, बोले भैया इससे बात मत करो पागल है. बोला वो तो हस्बैंड वाइफ और बेटी का गला काट के इसने नदी में फेंका है.
Oh my God. These are called psychopath serial killers.
I have no idea about it.
And then?
भैया कह रहे भैया उसको छोड़ो. And I said ठीक है भैया. However you want to. And because in my head I could not fathom, there was not an iota of guilt, regret, nothing.
Such people change.
And in my head I am thinking कि ऐसे बहुत कम लोग होते हैं दुनिया में जो बोलते हैं हम ड्रीम्स अचीव कर लेंगे. मैंने कहा एक मेरे सामने बैठा है without any guilt. You will not believe, Anku, 6th day of the workshop. 6th day, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th day. When I was leaving the workshop, the course got completed. So I last day said कि अगर कभी आप निकले यहाँ से तो would you want to take this journey forward? Will you like go on the same path? The first hand which got raised was this guy. And he said कि भैया आपने हमारे को first day ना कुछ promises कराए थे. क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. And we agreed to all your promises. Today, I am promising you.
I will not get it.
I will never ever look into the direction of crime. He said भैया आज के बाद crime की दुनिया की तरफ देखूंगा भी नहीं. ये मेरा आपको वादा है. And he started crying. I started crying. Everybody around crying.
So the minds which are more firm can melt off.
Oh yes, it is just you have to give a little bit of love and solace, and in way they can really come out of it.
I think your journey is a blessing that the person who saw something very painful in his life, instead of taking a revenge, we read in Mahabharat, Karna को बोला कि तुम बदला नहीं लेते और बल्कि जो तुम्हारे साथ वो दूसरों के साथ ना होने देते. You would have been on a better path than supporting someone like Duryodhan. So it's so nice to have
you.
met you after 13 years.
Totally, it was pleasure.
I am so happy. I don't know how many such people might have met you, and you don't know that they actually got touched by your thoughts. So,
I don't know. We are doing what we can.
Yes, without any intention, you're actually dropping in a thought with every one of
No,
us.
intention is definitely that to create a better world. At least not for myself, for other people. And when we see Gurudev working tirelessly, we think we can do a little bit.
Yes, you guys look tireless all the time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
It
Anku.
was
Thanks a lot. Thank you.